How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves, or welcome back to a brand new match preview on the channel today. Hope you guys are keeping well and are safe and you've enjoyed the international break. But Wolves are back at it in club football. They'll be taking on Leeds United at Elland Road this coming Monday. I'll be giving my thoughts. We'll get the Leeds perspective as well ahead of the game. And as always, if you can leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, it's always great to see you guys commenting and let me know what you think of what's going on in and around the club at the moment. As always, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. And quickly on a very quick tangent and quick side note, we're Talking Wolves. We released our very first sort of proper t-shirt last night, which at the time of recording was Friday, and it sold out within a couple of hours. So we are going to be doing a rerun. Pre-orders should be back up by the time this video is up. So if you wanted to pre-order one of those for the second run of t-shirts, the Grand Theft Auto t-shirts, then you can do in the website. I'll make sure I link it in the top of the description down below on talkingwolves.co.uk. It was all designed and made by myself. We've had it printed by a local company as well. So obviously you're supporting us as a channel and you're supporting some local businesses as well. So yeah, a very quick side note, but Wolves are back in club action. They'll be taking on newly promoted side Leeds United, and Leeds, who have been getting loads of praise from the media. Some fans can't understand it, some fans, are backing it, but to be fair, Leeds United have started off really well in the Premier League, and it's going to be a really tricky game for Wolves this coming Monday. Just check out their run so far. Obviously, just the only defeat coming on the opening day of the season against Liverpool, sorry. But since then, they've beaten Fulham, they've beaten Sheffield United, and they've even got a point against Manchester City as well. So Wolves will be hoping they can prove another tricky game for Leeds United, but it's going to be a very tough task. Looking at Wolves ahead of this game, of course, coming off the back of that 1-0 victory over Fulham, which I think was a much-needed 3 points going into the international break. And it's been quite a successful international break, you could say, for a number of players. Connor Cody, of course, really, getting into that England squad now and even scoring a goal, which is unbelievable to see. The fact that, he hasn't scored for Wolves in how many years, and, he managed to get one for England coming up for the corner. Daniel Podence grabbing his first Portugal cap. Pedro Neto was getting goals for the 21s as well. Ryan Aït-Nouri has been playing for the French 21. So there's been a lot of players, probably, 3/4 of our squad are out on international duty and playing games and scoring goals. The only key concern is that there was a little bit of an outbreak of COVID in the Portugal camp. Anthony Lopez had it, who's a goalkeeper for Lyon. Cristiano Ronaldo got it as well. And obviously, we've got a huge chunk of our squad, Nelson Semedo, Patricio Neves, Matinho, Podence, sort of in that squad at the moment. And they even played against Spain, didn't they, which featured Adama Traore, which was great to see him break into the Spain squad. So, as far as the club's tests and stuff, they've all gone through. The Premier League tests aren't official until tomorrow, which is Sunday, so obviously at the time of the video. So there may be some very late team news, but it will be very intriguing and interesting to see what happens on that front anyway. But I am looking forward to it. I think, we've had players such as Marcel who are now coming back into full training. Someone that we saw in that first game and that win against Sheffield United. And he hasn't quite broken it back into the team because of his injury. He had that little couple of minutes against City and then he was injured. And now, Vinagre's gone. We played Sace at left wing back against Fulham. So it'll be really interesting to see who gets the nod. If it will be Marcel back at left wing back or Ryan Aït-Nouri comes straight in. There's some places up for grabs in the squad at the moment, really, and it'll be intriguing to see how Wolves get on against Leeds. I just feel at the moment as a Wolves fan, I'm going to turn on the TV and I'm just not going to know which Wolves team are going to turn up. Leeds are going to be a tough team. They've got some good players in there. They've brought in Rafinha. They've got Rodrigo, who, he's had his spell sort of coming off the bench, but he's playing for Spain. I think he could well start for Leeds against us. Helder Costa for the first time since he left the club. He's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. I know, very briefly, I think Leeds have got a couple of injuries in the defensive department, so that's probably, one area that Wolves can look at. But Leeds are so high-paced and everything, you can see that they've scored a big number of goals already in their first 4 games or so. So Wolves really have to be on their game, and it will be interesting to see how Nuno approaches this game and how he's set up. Because the Fulham game, although we got the 3 points, it wasn't hugely convincing. So if we can carve Leeds open, because they could be, they could play quite open. It'll be interesting to see if we can take our chances. We need the likes of Jimenez, possibly Adama if he starts. We need the likes of those two to be on their A game if Wolves are going to get 3 points. But Pedro Neto's come into it a lot more. Daniel Podence as well, when against City, he had a couple of decent games at the end of last season as well. So it will be really, really intriguing. But I think Nuno has got, a few selection issues, or I don't want to say issues, but a selection headache, you could say, in a couple of positions now. So it'll be really, really intriguing to see how he approaches the game. Now we got the thoughts of a Leeds fan, Connor, from One Leeds Fan Channel. Big thanks to him. He's going to be giving his thoughts ahead of the game between Leeds and Wolves.
Hey fellas, hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Connor here from the One Leeds Fan Channel, and I've been asked to do a preview from Talking Wolves. So yeah, let's get into it. From the Leeds end, massive game again, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the Premier League endeavour. Leeds 4 games in, and to be honest, I don't think we should have lost the game. We've ran Liverpool extremely close, should have got a result from that. Man City, I think we should have beaten them as well. And the Fulham and Sheffield United games were good wins as well. So it's been a good start to life in the Premier League for Leeds United. This game is something completely different though. It's a Wolverhampton Wanderers team who are going to pose a different threat. Obviously, potentially 5 at the back, who knows? But you're going to be difficult to break down. That could be a potential problem for Leeds United, because so far it's just been fast-flowing end-to-end games for both teams. So both teams, when they've been playing each other in each and every one of these 4 fixtures that we've played so far, have just been gung-ho. So it's worked to Leeds' advantage. Wolverhampton Wanderers, they are defensively astute. This year, it's not been great for you. But I do think you'll turn it around. I think you're too good a team to turn it around. But I think there's a little bit of a transition at the minute, a little bit of a change. Obviously, Johnny being injured, Diogo Jota going out, I do think is massive for you boys. But Podence coming in and Adama Traore finding his form is absolutely key. And he is someone I am terrified for, I'm not going to lie. Just pace. But if we can keep him quiet, I do think it takes out a lot of Wolves' game. Where do we beat you? I think the midfield is where Leeds are massively energetic. I think maybe a little bit weary. Moutinho now could be a little bit of a problem for Wolves. We'll have to wait and see with that one. But Leeds just do not stop moving. We're an extremely, extremely fit team. Arguably the fittest team in the Premier League. So could that cause Wolves some problems in the centre of the park? Potentially. But I do think we'll win this game. I think it's going to be a 3-1 Leeds win. Thank you, Wolves fans. Good luck for after the game. And keep up the great work, fellas. Cheers.
So big thanks to Connor. You can check out his links in the description down below. Now, time for my predicted lineup, or what lineup I would go for. It's a cert for Patricio in goal. Patricio was very, very good on international duty, by the way. In the last international duty, he'd been knocked out of the squad by Anthony Lopez. Patricio sat on the bench, and he's come back into it now and kept a huge number of clean sheets. I think he was the first goalkeeper in years to stop Spain from scoring in an international game when they drew 0-0. So, he's on form. He's been a very, very good performer. He's made some crucial stops for us so far this season, Patricio. So, he walks into that squad, doesn't he? In terms of the back 5, this is where I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest. All across the pitch, actually. Nelson Semedo, I think he's got his place at right wing back. Connor Cody's got his place. Willy Bolly's got his place. And then the 2 on the left. Sace, does he play? I would probably think so, but Max Kilman looked pretty composed, didn't he? Against Fulham. Left wing back, if Marçal is fit, I'd assume he would come back into it, but we could see Ait Nouri, who's probably a little bit more match sharp play there. So that'll be quite an intriguing one. In terms of midfield, I think Wolves have got to go with Neves and Dendoncker again. This is me assuming we're going to go with the 3-4-3, but I think we've got to start Neves and Dendoncker in the middle again. I just think there's a bit more energy there. Moutinho, for me, unfortunately, just looked a little bit leggy these first few games, and there's no denying his quality, but we've got to, especially in the early stage of these games, we've got to have, our best and most energetic players on the pitch. And then the front 3, I would be pushed to go with Neto, Podence and Jimenez again, and bring Adama off the bench. I think that's what I would possibly say, but I think it could be a Podence, Adama, Jimenez. But then it's harsh on Neto, and that's what I mean. There is a bit of a selection headache for Nuno. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on that one, because I just cannot pinpoint the players that will play on Monday. It's going to be really, really difficult, and I think Nuno will throw up some surprises. And then, in terms of score prediction, I'm going to go with the old faithful, the 2-1 to Wolves. and fingers crossed we can get 3 points. It is going to be a tough game, there's no denying it, but Wolves have got some decent recent history at Elland Road, and I'm hoping that we can turn up again and grab a win and grab a vital 3 points. Guys, I'll be back to give my thoughts after the game anyway. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. And I'll see you all very, very soon.